The BTS dorm was unusually quiet on this sunny afternoon. The members had just returned from a successful world tour and were relishing a rare moment of peace. The living room, usually buzzing with energy, was now a sanctuary of calm. Jin was in the kitchen, expertly flipping pancakes with a confidence that only came from years of practice. His apron, adorned with cheerful patterns, was dusted with flour, and the aroma of the pancakes filled the room with a comforting scent. He hummed a tune, completely immersed in his culinary task. Jungkook, the resident pancake enthusiast, hovered around the kitchen, his eyes fixed on the stack of pancakes with a look of eager anticipation. Jin-hyun, those pancakes look amazing, he said, practically drooling. Jin shot him a playful glance over his shoulder. You haven't even tasted them yet. How do you know they're amazing? Jungkook grinned, resting his elbows on the counter. Trust me, I can tell. Your pancakes are always top-notch. Well, you better be ready, Jin said with a wink, flipping another pancake onto the growing stack. Because these are going to be the best pancakes you've ever had. Meanwhile, in the living room, RM was sprawled on the couch, engrossed in a thick book about ancient civilizations. The sunlight streaming through the window highlighted the concentration on his face. Did you guys know? He said suddenly, his voice carrying a tone of fascination, that in ancient Greece, gardens were considered sacred spaces? Jimin, who was seated cross-legged on the floor, playing with V's dog, Yeontan, looked up from his pet with interest. Really? That's quite poetic. It's like they saw gardens as a piece of paradise. V, lying on the rug and doodling in his sketchbook, nodded thoughtfully. I've always imagined gardens like that, a place where everything is alive, where even the flowers have their own stories. Suga, who had been lounging in an armchair with his eyes half closed, stirred slightly. Sounds peaceful, he murmured, not quite awake but intrigued. Just then, the doorbell rang, breaking the tranquility of the moment. The sudden sound startled everyone, and they exchanged puzzled looks. I'll get it, J-Hope exclaimed, hopping up from where he had been scrolling through his phone. He opened the door to find an envelope lying on the welcome mat. It was small and elegant, with a wax seal in the shape of a rose. That's strange, he said, picking it up. We weren't expecting any mail, were we? Nope, RM replied, closing his book and joining J-Hope at the door. Let's see what it is. J-Hope carefully broke the wax seal and unfolded the letter inside. The handwriting was flowing and ornate, adding an air of mystery to the note. Dear BTS, you are cordially invited to a secret garden adventure. Follow the map enclosed to discover a hidden paradise few have ever seen. Trust your instincts, and you will find the path. Yours truly, the guardian of the garden. The room fell into a stunned silence as they processed the message. A secret garden? Jimin echoed, his voice filled with excitement. That sounds like the beginning of a fairy tale. V sat up, his eyes shining with excitement. Or a hidden sanctuary where only a chosen few can enter. J-Hope, always the skeptic, raised an eyebrow. Or it could be a prank. Are we sure this isn't some kind of elaborate joke? Jungkook, already unfolding the accompanying map, was too excited to worry. This looks legit. It's a hand-drawn map of a forest. It looks like we have to follow this path. The map was detailed, featuring winding paths, streams, and a large X marking the location of the secret garden. Jungkook traced the route with his finger. It looks like it's just outside the city, maybe a 20-minute walk or so. Suga, still waking up but intrigued, joined the group. It could be fun, he said, his tone more curious than dismissive. Why not check it out? Jin, who had finished cooking and joined the conversation, nodded in agreement. It's a beautiful day. Let's go on an adventure. RM smiled, his excitement evident. All right, let's do it. Grab what you need, and let's head out. Jungkook darted off to grab his camera. Jimin quickly laced up his sneakers, and V packed a small bag with snacks. Suga packed a bottle of water and a notebook. Feeling a sudden urge to document their journey, Jean carefully packed the pancakes into a container, determined that they would not go hungry on their adventure. As they prepared to leave, the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The sun was shining brightly, and the air was filled with the promise of an exciting journey. "Don't forget the pancakes," Jean called out, reminding everyone of the delicious treats. With everything packed and spirits high, they set out, following the directions on the map. The bustling city streets gradually gave way to quieter, more serene roads. The change in scenery was subtle but noticeable, and the excitement among the members grew with every step. "This is going to be incredible," Jimin said, his voice brimming with excitement. "I've always dreamed of finding a secret garden." V, carrying the small bag of snacks, agreed. "Me too. I've read about hidden places like this in books, but I never thought I'd actually find one." Jungkook, camera in hand, was already snapping pictures of the changing landscape. "This is going to make for some amazing photos. I can't wait to share them." As they walked, they encountered a mix of urban and natural scenery. The cityscape was gradually replaced by green hills and open fields. The path from the map led them through a picturesque landscape, with wildflowers blooming along the roadside and the occasional chirping of birds in the trees. "It's so peaceful out here," J-Hope said, taking a deep breath of the fresh air. "It feels like we're leaving the city behind and entering a different world." RM nodded, checking the map frequently to ensure they were on the right track. "We should be getting close," he said, his voice filled with anticipation. "The map indicates that we'll reach the edge of the forest soon." As they approached the forest, the trees grew taller and the air grew cooler. The entrance to the forest was marked by 2 grand oak trees, their branches intertwining overhead to form a natural archway. The sight was both majestic and inviting. "Well, here we are," RM said, glancing back at his friends. "This is where the Real adventure begins." The members looked at each other, their faces reflecting a mix of excitement and nervousness. With a collective sense of determination, they stepped into the forest. The path ahead was shrouded in mystery, and they could hardly wait to see what lay beyond.